How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. Mystery beer. Last mystery beer from Steven. Thank you very much, Steven. Steven sent me off. This is actually the second time Steven sent me beers. He sent me a couple of mystery beers and a couple of unwrapped beers, and then did the same thing. Bumped it up a bit. A couple more extra mystery beers and a couple beers he hails from up Massachusetts way. And this is actually the last one mystery beer I have, period. Right now in my fridge, which doesn't sound too whatever cause for caution or cause for craziness, but you probably know this by now. I am doing mystery beer Christmas, or the 12 mystery beers of Christmas, if you will. This will be the last one that goes up, so this will go up Christmas Eve. I'm going to go through my whole catalog and at this point I have 12 mystery beers sitting around, and you know, I can spread those out and you know go months. You know, that's a couple months worth of mystery beers, but I kind of feel bad because people send me them and they kind of want to see what I think about them, and I don't want them to wait that long. So we're going to do the 12 mystery beers of Christmas, and this will cap off that whole series. So anyway, what are mystery beers? People wrap them up like this in this shroud of whateverness, and I open them, I drink them, I talk about them. Sometimes I guess the beer itself, but really just talk about what I think the beer is, what kind of beer it is, yada yada yada, adjuncts, hops, all that fun stuff, and then I unwrap it, and then we'll see how close I am. So here we go. This one is actually got tape everywhere. It's super horribly kind of, I can't see anything. Sorry, just kind of like want to rip a little piece of paper off there for dramatic effect. Yeah, I kind of wrapped the most ghettoist of all mystery beers I've ever had, so I'm kind of excited about this one. Try to hold this paper out of the way and give this a little whirl, see what she's got. Okay. It's been a good mix. From Steven. Some of the stuff he sent me this time around was shelfies. Some of the stuff is kind of more fancier stuff. This one, she looks like a hazy, you know. She looks like she comes from where he hails from, which is up there in Massachusetts, New England kind of way. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter than your typical New England style hazy. You definitely get a bit of color through that sucker. Pinky finger, just about 3/4 of pinky finger white, almost as white as white could be. Head pretty uniform tight back bubbles, but she's got a nice soft hazy to her. So she looks like a pale ale or an IPA, or it could be a saison for all I know. I mean, it's just got that rich kind of unfiltered look to her. Let's get a nose. Okay, well, she is a hop forward beer. She could still get outside of just the ale, pale ale, IPA realm. I could definitely see there being a saison kind of vibe to this, because it smells like there's a little bit extra oomph to that yeast, something outside of your London 3 cone kind of thing. There's a little bit of pepperiness, a little bit of spiciness to it, but it's very hop leaning, very lemon, lime, citrus hop leaning. So you have big, bright lemon on top of that grapefruit, on top of that orange, with a nice acidity to it. A little bit of soft kind of extra oomph to that yeast that I was talking about, like a little bit of soft pepperiness, kind of like verging on like a extra hopped kind of saison. But she could still be somebody's pale, but she smells quite nice. Smells refreshing, smells drinkable, smells chuggable. Smells like summer, actually. Super bright, super refreshing. Let's dive in this sucker. Cheers. Yeah. This has got to be somebody's like hopped up, extra dry hopped saison or something of that ilk. I don't think it's getting into your Belgian realm of thing. There's nothing as far as banana or bubblegum, any of that kind of ester to it. It's more of a peppery, spicy, lemon limey, almost like a slight Brett vibe to it. But that could be just a citrus notes really playing with me, or is it Brett bringing that citrus component? So yeah, this one is delicious. I love this beer. It's exactly what I like, these kind of outside of the typical New England style hop forward beer to kind of show. It's giving me a big, bright, wonderful hops, but on top of that, it's giving me a yeast with some character and giving me a nice, soft creaminess. Nothing too thick, nothing too thin. It's just kind of hitting all the marks for me. Yeah, this is super tasty stuff. I dig this quite a bit. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Yeah, it tastes like a Trillium beer that I've had before. I don't know which one it is, but I don't think it's Trillium beer. I forget what it is. I'm trying to think of the beer I'm kind of thinking of. It's basically one of their hopped up saison. So I think this is somebody's hopped up saison that could have a little bit of Brett C going on in it. Almost, I kind of want to put my wiener on the table and say that's in there, only because the way that citrus note is coming through, both in the nose and in the taste, it's just somewhere outside of what hops normally do. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say this is somebody's ale or saison, extra hop, dry hopped, with a little bit of Brett character going on, a little bit of Brett C going on. Done and done. Let's see what this sucker has. Can we actually get this off here? Let's see what we got. Beard Brewing. This is one of the beers that you already sent me, and this just says New England Style IPA on it. So there you go. It's our always eaten dinner, New England Style India Pale Ale. Let's see if there's any other tidbits on this thing here. We have a brewed bottled by Beard Brewing, Shovington, Connecticut. Dinner's obviously the best meal of the day, and that's otherwise. And if you think otherwise, you're just wrong. We took one of our favorite base recipes for New England IPA and layered it with Elusa Medusa hop. This hop brings flavors of guava, melon, apricot, and citrus, to the dinner table, creating a meal we're happy to feast on daily. Yeah, I'm really surprised about that one. I have no problems with what I said because that's what I tasted. It definitely comes off really citrus leaning. Maybe that's a Medusa thing that I'm just not used to, but it's really citrus leaning. That's the whole thing. The whole reason why I leaned on the Brett character. It wasn't necessarily funky or anything like that. Now, I did say I got a slight kind of extra oomph from that yeast too in the kind of saison realm. There's a bit more to it. It tastes like something a little bit outside of just your normal base, generic go-to New England style yeast, but it's tasty. It's nice. I didn't guess ABV. I mean, you know, all things considered, 6.5. I probably would have went more like 5.5, high 5. So probably would have been a little bit low in the ABV in this one. But that being said, this is delicious. This is absolutely fantastic. It's only, it's less than 2 months old, which is fine by me. Big beer, lumberjacking, it says on the bottom. But yeah, and label-wise, I kind of dig it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's just, you know, a table. Dude's mashing her face with a bunch of dinner. So, yeah, I dig it. I like it. I like the way the hops show. I like the way the yeast shows. Everything about it. If this is a shelf beer, sign me up all day, because I would drink this 24/7. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better New England style IPAs I've had. It's like, yes, from just visceral knee-jerk deliciousness to it being just not the same thing that everybody else is churning out. That little bit of subtle funkiness that I believe that yeast brought to the table kind of separates it from, you know, a lot of the haves and have-nots that are out there that are trying to be the same beer. So that in and of itself is really fun. Value and availability, no idea. Maybe Steven can chime in and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this beer? If you like that acidic Brett portion of the show, but you don't want any of the funkiness that came along with it, that usually comes along with it, I should say, because that's kind of where this one landed for me. That's why I was kind of on the edge of it, and I just ended up going in with the Brett thing, because it gave me that citrus portion of the show. That's not something I usually get from hops, the way the citrus showed, I mean. But at the same time, it didn't give you the funkiness, so it kind of gives you the best of those worlds. If you're not really into sour, funky stuff, it's going to give you that kind of citrus component. Words are hard sometimes. That is pretty fantastic. There we go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little beard beer right now. Hopefully enjoying a mystery beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Merry Christmas.